Hello there, let's react to Mr. Olympus's video, the most hated person freak in this world.
Most hated man of the League community.
You can type Karthus ult if you need to, by the way. It's not.
Now, I don't think so this is a big deal because you can type Kartul or really short, really quick. But it's nicer if you can ping it. Now, what's kind of annoying for me, they remove specific pings, which I'm happy for it as well. For example, this specific game I played in Diamond 2, and I have to ping my Diamond 2 teammates to flash instead of dying. Watch out. I was pinging his flash, he didn't flash. He didn't flash.
That he doesn't flash his away. He's gonna die. I tried to ping his flash. I genuinely tried to ping his flash.
I pinged his flash even, so he doesn't greet on it by chance, right? And you can ping it because look where it goes, it's in your party, he does not see it, right? And so the issue with this type of scenarios is that he only got the first blood. He got 3 potions in lane and a dagger. That's kinda bad when your laner gets such an advantage, right? 3 potions and a dagger of that. Now, okay, whatever, let's move on. But I think it's still a positive change, even though it's very annoying in some specific case scenario. And why do I even say this? It's more annoying 99% of the times to have those like ping teammates, ping teammates flash when they mess up their flash, you know, whatever, you know, like often people use certain pings as a form of hate, especially when they're pinging a specific champion. For example, in high elo, sure, you're gonna ping a champion when they're dead, because you gotta wait for them, and that gives up the signal to your teammates that one person is dead and we can't contest an objective. But even in high elo, way less likely they use those pings informatively, and more likely they use it in a hateful way. Which means 99% of the times, most of the times in lower ranks, pings are more than often used in a hateful way. Sadly, even in higher ranks where you're gonna say, yeah, pings are supposed to be used in a helpful, decent way, more than often they are not. So it removes a lot of frustration and anxiety from the game that they removed a bunch of pings, because I'm telling you, it's very rare. It's annoying for me, it's annoying in higher ranks, but it's very rare when people utilize them in a positive ways. So if very big part of the times they are used in a hateful way, I can agree with Freak. I know it's annoying for some people in very rare occasions, even for me, but it's worth. Because if we have a constantly, as I said, I'm gonna repeat myself again, if we have these annoying pings, it just like ruins more, you know, than provides, in my opinion.
You can type.
Once well respected and loved, he started going down the downward.
Now that we manage ASAP, of course, he also didn't agree with ASAP for some reason. He asked for community feedback, and at the end of the day, what happened? He did get feedback from ASAP, but he didn't communicate with him. And then the buffs on Vel'Koz were kinda lazy, because he only got a flat and the percentage amount of passive damage value, which often is not too great in lane unless you get to proc your passive, because if you just Q poke or W poke, then you don't get any bonus damage value out of it. What you're gonna get is only if you specifically proc your passive, right? Which against long range mages is often not too useful, as an example, right? From the other hand, I even talked to ASAP in his Twitch chat. I said it would be nice to get a projectile speed buff on his Q, a 50-20 percentage. He agreed with me, just to match the mobility that already exists in the meta. And he even specifically asks do not add this type of flat or percentage bonus damage values to Vel'Koz. They did. Whatever, let's move on.
Spiral with no sight of stopping. While I think his intentions are good, but with all due respect, Freak, go back to shoutcasting!
Now, he used to be a caster, and even previously he did troll in the past. For example, he recommended people to go Severe Jungle and Irelia Jungle back in the time, while both of them were rather suboptimal. Now, the only good thing was about Irelia, she had some dueling power, but the issue with Irelia Jungle was that your ganking is not the best, and Severe was just bad at everything. Severe was just bad because your dueling power was shit. Rengar just like beat you up, and then the other like bruisers or assassins, right? Then the other issue was that Irelia was like way better in lane, same as Severe. So he actually banned, like if we read this, he actually banned doing some trolling in the past as well. Well, notably, Freak is not as awful as people want Freak to be fired. Especially people got mad because, for example, say he had actually some balancing issues, but the issue is that not all of the balancing issues belong to Freak. So if there is a bad patch, it's not only like the whole thing is not necessarily only on Freak, because there are multiple people in that balancing team.
Go back to doing champion spotlights!
Tons of damage. Tons of damage.
Early game junglers seem to ruin the game for everybody else.
And that's not untrue. Because back in the times before durability patch, when the jungles used to be way more broken, when Alice was actually in a strong state, or many other like level 3 oriented ganking junglers, when Rek'Sai was super strong, the game had so much anxiety in it, right? Because you could get dived, you could get invaded, you could get level 3 ganked without losing enough. So they rebalanced the jungle in a way so that farming is also rewarded over spam ganking, which is a good change because it causes less anxiousness for laners, while also like this is not like, if people think that everything Freak says, it's necessarily wrong. It's like the ping changes. It's not bad because, as I said, it removes you so much frustration from the game. But people disagree with me because some people in higher ranks get frustrated because, oh look, we cannot ping things. But that just, for in my opinion, that's just better for the community.
Because they'll just show up in your lane and kind of kill you.
Balancing league
That's the thing, like,
is not your strength! And while you are at it, take the whole team with you! Let's talk about...
because this video kind of gives off that, I don't know, kind of a dumb vibe, which a lots of like league players would sort of agree with, but they don't get it, like how complicated and philosophical and how easy it is to make balancing mistakes. So some things gotta sink in, they gotta test on PBE. Sometimes things go well in PBE, but they go wrong in live servers, then they hotfix and they rebalance. But balancing all and all is not that easy as people imagine it. And I think like Freak had actually many good decisions through the time, because for example a lot of assassins are complaining because it's Freak season. For example, AD carries are not getting so much one-shotted as before in the past, right? Now the reason behind that, either one class complains or another one, right? For example, assassins, they are functional, they one-shot everybody, they even beat bruisers, everything, right? Now suddenly Freak did nerfs here and there on assassins, assassin items, runes and so on, you know, I won't mention everything, and suddenly AD assassins or mid lanes are not that useful. But it's either the AD carries are too frustrated because they get perma one-shotted by everything, which they actually did in the past, not only assassins shitted on them, but mages as well, and it was a very unfun class to play, because yes, you dealt damage, but you every time were one-shotted, and people that remember those times when AD carries got perma one-shotted, that class wasn't ever fun, because you had to play really well, but even when you played really well, it just often it wasn't enough, because it often felt like you're just scaling till 20 minutes as a scaling AD carry, then you get one-shotted by Rengar anyways, and then it just feels to be so purposeless to play AD carry. Some people do say that he balances the game around his own role, and sometimes it feels that way, but at the same time it's not untrue what he actually does. It's not incorrect in my opinion, but people think everything is inherently wrong. But many things, like his nerfs are good, I think. Often his nerfs are good. His buffs sometimes are a bit too soft in my opinion. That's what I noticed. I think the buffs are not the best. The nerfs are often like decent, okay, and sometimes even it doesn't quite make the champion useless. Rather it just rebalances it in some way. In some way it gets adjusted. So it's like people don't know how to be in the place of Freak, because it's not that easy to find, to sort of like be in everyone's preference, right? If one class, if one item gets nerfed, the other champion gets to enjoy the game. For example, Duskblade was broken, now it got nerfed. Then AD carries get to enjoy more the game, right? So it's like one class will always complain, one class will always be weaker. It's hard to perfectly balance everything, right? For example, same way at the time bruisers were way more shit, but now bruisers have really good items like Spear of Sojin, Black Cleaver, Trinity Force, Divine, what have you, and they are suddenly way better when it's not tank meta anymore. So it's kind of like you just can't. The harder they try to fit everyone's preference, the more likely they will not, because if something is again stronger than the other class, then again it feels like the other class is down, so it's just like very difficult, as people don't get the difficulty and the inconsistency of balancing. And again, he's talked about feedback earlier on. Definitely players should give their own feedback, because he doesn't know 100% everything about the game, but he also needs to communicate. But I don't think so it's the greatest idea to post this type of rangeful videos that actually do align with most of the people's opinion about PHREAK. But I don't think so he is at the end of the world, because there were people in the past that did release champions that got perma-nerfed. For example, Yuumi, Azir got perma-nerfed ever since they got released, right, at most. And many other champions just mostly had to be perma-nerfed because they were obnoxiously strong. Which not all of them did actually also belong to PHREAK. Depends like who designed, right? Like for example, if I typed who let's say designed K'Sante, right? K'Sante development, right? Now, lots of people are complaining about PHREAK. We scroll down, and I can see a bunch of things about him, right? Now, voice actors, blah blah blah, West African culture, of course. And so, where do we even see the good stuff? Narrative art or visuals and credits setting, designer, credits. K'Sante. Where is it shown? K'Sante trivia, media, trivia, references, champions, champion roadmap. Am I stupid? Credits, but credits don't work. Credits. It's not here, right? Is it here? It's not really here, right? Auto reminder. That's just a story. Don't care. K'Sante's voice in Japanese voice actor. K'Sante is Yasumi Kushida. Shurima development, Shurima time. K'Sante press order. Okay. Who designed K'Sante? It's not really sad, is it sad? Development, I don't think so, it's sad, but I don't want to get actually too much in the details of who released it, but I don't think so PHREAK did it, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, gameplay, I don't know who are these people, honestly. Narrative, artwork, sound, visual, credits, voice actors, it's not really shown. Designers, right? Gameplay designers. So none of these are, I think these are supposed to be the gameplay designers, right? None of these are PHREAK. PHREAK balances the things, right? So it's not completely in his control what kind of imbalanced champions they release. That's my point. He has to tone them down, and this is what they did next patch, which is really good. But not everything is on PHREAK when they release a broken champion, because it's not completely in his control. Because often like a champion has to be strong due to skin revenue, and because like this was the Lil Nas champion, so it's supposed to be very strong. That was like the general idea behind it. Then of course they will be toned down, but that's how it usually goes.